So for me, my it's just kind of different from them, just because I'm creating a website.
Okay.
And so basically, the thing I'm struggling with is creating a website that looks both simple yet elegant and complex. I noticed that when I go to different websites, they're just visually appealing because like the way that everything's formatted and everything's like the way that everything looks just looks so complex and beautiful, but it doesn't distract anything.
Okay.
So do you have any like tips that I could use for that?
What kind of website are you building?
Well, I'm building just a documentation website, so it's basically meant to like document all the work that the group has been doing as a whole.
Okay.
So I have to basically get paragraphs of text and pictures that the group sends me and like organize it on a site.
Okay.
And what I'm struggling with is making the pictures and the text look organized and at the same time elegant.
Got it. And who will be viewing the website?
Just general people, mostly like students, some professionals, some like faculty members. So it has to look both professional yet like intriguing.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming.
I think the best way. Have you done a lot of research on like different types of websites? Because it seems like it would be more of like a portfolio website in a sense, but also more of like community based. I don't know. But have you researched any like specific websites? You have,
I researched like what makes a good website, and from what I could tell, a good website typically doesn't have that much text. It's mostly like visual. It has to be, people aren't really going to websites to like read a lot. They're mostly going to like see something quick, get quick information, and go out. So I think I have to make the text not too overwhelming and kind of make the pictures the emphasis of the whole.
Okay. Tips. I would say, I mean, definitely, obviously, keep it simple. And if you're going to work on letting photos shine, then make sure the photos are great. You know, and then basic, grid systems, I think, and clean colors. I think if you take a look at, maybe I should have brought my computer today. Because I have a bunch of websites that show, like, I was telling them earlier that they show like UI examples, so user interface examples for like a bunch of different things. So I have one that does websites. I have a lot that do apps, but mainly you can type in like, portfolio website, and then a bunch of like ideas will show up. And you can kind of pull from those different ones to create one. I mean, with website development, it's tough. Essentially, the layouts are going to be fairly similar, either type-based or graphic-based, or a little bit of both. But you want to keep everything kind of like in the top section, so that
minimal scrolling.
Yes, minimal scrolling. There's this really amazing book by Steve something called Don't Make Me Think, and it's written in like mid-90s, maybe mid-90s, early 2000s, but it's really interesting because it's like this thick, and it talks about user interfaces and user experience design, and so he does like these heat maps, like views of this website he's building, and that's how he tests the success of his website. And so he will have like a bunch of people come in and like just view this website, and it only works if you've seen it for the first time. And they take a map of where your eyes go. And so what they saw for websites on like a desktop or viewed like landscape on a tablet or something, most of the time it's like an F. So people view the left to right mainly, right? And then they see like down, and they see just that little second part right there. And even on apps, on mobile apps, that's why if you have like the main navigation and then you see that another navigation is kind of like a little bit below, it's because that's mainly what users look at.
On top of that, I kind of want to create like a system that interlocks, because I have multiple subpages, because you know how there's 6 of them, so I have to create multiple subpages for each of their work.
Okay.
And I want to make the websites look like united, but at the same time I don't want it to be too overwhelming, because I have like 6 subpages for like each main page, and it's really like.
Are you sure you need that many?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of group documentation.
Okay. Do you have sitemaps or anything of like how it's broken down?
Yeah, like Google, because I'm using Google Sites, but I'm also coding my own website. So
I mean, like like do I have a piece of paper? Because typically, I wonder if I have a piece of paper here. I'm gonna find out.
I think I have it right.
Oh, I found one. All right. So like, so you have like your basic like sitemap, right? You have your like home, about, whatever, each thing, and then you have like it broken down to like how they go and how they flow into each other. Typically, you don't want to have, you want to have as even amount this as you have this. You don't really want to have like more than like maybe 5 here, because then it gets overwhelming. You don't necessarily want to have too many nested down. You know, like think about the person that's going to view your website. They don't want to like click down 5 different links, 5 different pages. You know, maybe if there's a way you could streamline your topics so that it uses less, but then it also spreads it out more, so you don't have to have like so many different subcategories, subcategories.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, some of the pages could end up being merged, and it would be make it easier.
Yeah, because you want to think about the biggest thing with web development and like user experience development is you just like think about the person that's looking at it. Like you'll look at it, you'll click 12 pages down because you were passionate about what you're doing, you know. But like, say you meet this really awesome like person that wants to help you take some tech course or something, you know, and you show him this website. He's not going to go look 12 pages down. He's going to click the first page, click maybe 2 other times, and then be done, right? Unless there's something that catches his eye. So you want to keep it as simple as possible, with as little
Okay, so make it straightforward and not distracting. Got that. In terms of font and images, how I should format the images, you're saying like grid, so like, I don't get what you mean.
So I mean, okay. So when I say grid is like typically because just the way a website is set up, it will be gridded, and for like dynamic websites and stuff like that, they're going to change depending on the screen. You know, like you can't necessarily make it all look the same on every device. But that's why I say grid, because then it just makes it simple. It's like this many columns, this whatever. But it doesn't have to be like gridded out, if that makes sense. When I was talking about the F, that's because that's where the user's eye goes. Because I come from a UX background, and so it's like I always think about